February 5th, 2023. The first game is the Orlando Magic beat the Charlotte Hornets on the road. The Magic, they're known to beat good teams. 13th seed after this win. I mean, they're still in there. Still only 3 games out of the 10th seed. So they could make a late push. Pancaro took 20 field goals but made his free throws. 22 points and 10 rebounds. Pretty good overall. But the main thing with him in fantasy, I think we all know, is the efficiencies. Free throw is a big issue. A lot of times high turnovers. But against Charlotte Hornets, he went 30%. That's a little bit concerning. Wendell Carter Jr. had 20 points and 12 rebounds. He's an absolutely must roster. Franz Wagner just did his thing. Very consistent player. And interestingly, Markelle Fultz played 36 minutes. Had 5 assists and 3 steals. And with him playing 35, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs was out this game. League suspension. Wow. Those guys are not getting the minutes. And Jonathan Isaac, we know what he can do given 30 minutes, but he's playing 12 minutes a game. So he's not really fantasy relevant. For the Charlotte Hornets, maybe next year. For the Charlotte Hornets, Gordon Hayward had 6 points. He's that borderline guy that you want to have maybe throughout the regular season, but once playoff comes around, and in category matchup, right? Because he doesn't really help you anywhere. So he's for sure a guy that you could drop and stream somebody else that could actually help you win that category. PJ Washington, pretty good, still in 2 blocks and some defensive stats, 2 threes, 12 points. Mason Plumlee continued to just play amazingly. Of course he missed his free throws. That's okay. Terry Rozier shot the ball okay, but no steals, had a block. Continued to be disappointing, I think, compared to his last 2 years. And Lamelo Ball had a great game. 6 threes, 33 points. Fantasy-wise, Lamelo this year, he missed a chunk of time, but on a per game basis, he was drafted in the first round. He's just the 27th ranked player on the season. The counting numbers look okay, but main thing is the field goal. If you're pounding field goals, he's giving you decent value. And just hopefully he can play most games, even when they're out of the playoffs, hopefully. And Jalen McDaniels get 26 minutes, yeah. Minutes is not enough. Dennis Smith, same thing with Dennis Smith Jr. Let's go to the next game. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Indiana Pacers 122-103. Another easy Wayne Donovan. Since his injury, he hasn't been good. Only 19 points, 2 threes. I think also he played a good chunk of game without Darius Garland. Both of them together, he's just not gonna put up the numbers he was putting up beginning of the season. He was averaging close to 30. Now he averages 27. I think 25 points realistic is probably where he's gonna average the rest of the season. But we'll see. But the steal numbers are still there. Had 1 steal here. Darius Garland, 24 points and 6 assists with 4 threes. And good to see Iman Mobley getting the blocks. 1 steal and 3 blocks, while Jared Allen just does what he does. 81% from the field again with 13 rebounds. Isaiah Okoro had a great game, but I think he's not fantasy relevant at all. And good to see Ricky Rubio getting 20 minutes. Had 9 assists. He could be a streaming option on this team. For the Pacers, Buddy Hield, pretty good game again. 16 points, 5 rebounds, and still in block with 4 threes. Buddy Hield, I would say the biggest thing this year is he's getting a lot of defensive stats, averaging 1.2 steals, which is for sure a surprise. 44th ranked player. But I think beginning of the season, I kind of expected him to give us higher points and threes because, all the guys are getting, kind of traded. But at the end of the day, he's still playing okay. The percentages are an okay, and mainly the 1.2 steals is pretty impressive. Aaron, unexpected. Miles Turner had 1 steal and 3 blocks, 27 points yet. Also, he did it in 24 minutes. And this year, I think his block numbers dipped a little bit, but it's about the offensive number. The other numbers, wow. He's averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds. I don't know if that's his career high. And shooting 54%. Those are great numbers. And only 2.4 blocks. I think over the years he's like 2.7, 2.8, which is okay. 2.4 blocks a game is still great. Tyrese Halliburton had a double-double with no defensive stats. An average game, maybe below average game for him. And TJ McConnell, we could drop him everywhere. And Andrew Nembhard, just a streamer, not a must roster when all the guys come back. are coming back, and Benedict Mathurin too. Don't think he's a must roster. Could be a good streaming option. Let's go to the next game. The New York Knicks beat the Sixers at home, 97-108. Joel Embiid only made 6 field goals, but 18 for 19 from the free throw line, 31 points, 14 rebounds. James Harden had a 12 double-double, missed all the shots, but had added 12 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and block. That's overall pretty good. But Harden this year, his rankings is not exactly that amazing. Just the 15th, because he does tend to blow over a lot, and his efficiency is a little bit low. Field goal, his free throw, he doesn't really get. He didn't get to the line this much this year. So that's just how he's gonna be now, as long as he's a Sixer. Try to facilitate the team. He's not gonna have crazy scoring averages. And Tobias Harris had 14 points and 10 rebounds and a block. Yeah. Well, it's kind of frustrating that you have Tyrese Maxey coming off the bench playing 24 minutes. DeAnthony Melton sometimes gets 25 minutes, sometimes he gets 35. If he gets over 30, 100% he's a must roster. I would try to sell high on DeAnthony Melton. I feel like eventually they're gonna give Tyrese Maxey more and more minutes, and that means DeAnthony Melton's minutes gonna go down, maybe in the 20s, maybe under 25. For the New York Knicks, Julius Randle, RJ was out this game, kind of late scratch. Jalen Brunson didn't play particularly well. Same thing with Randle, didn't shoot the ball that well. But Evan Fournier came off the bench, had a huge game, right? Miles McBride hit 3 threes off the bench, and those guys were plus 28 and plus 34. So really, the bench guys carried the Knicks to the win this time around. Yeah, it's crazy. Also, the bench were getting cooked, so Tyrese Maxey didn't play enough time. In those 9 minutes, they were like minus 26, crazy. So this game was won by the bench for this Knicks team. The next game is Toronto Raptors. There's also a lot of turmoil going on with this team. The trade deadline is this Thursday, so there might be some changes coming for this team. Scotty Barnes, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 7 rebounds, 2 threes, 16 points. Pretty good game. Siakam was in some foul trouble, played just 20 minutes with 19 points. It's okay. And Chris Boucher played 27 minutes, had a decent game, 17 and 10 rebounds. We can't really trust it. Precious Achiuwa has been starting with OG Anunoby out at 10 points, 4 steals, and 7 rebounds. Okay. OG, he's a couple weeks away. I think 1 or 2 more weeks away. So as long as he's out, Precious Achiuwa is a guy that we could stream for some rebound, but that's about it. He doesn't really offer anything else. Gary Trent Jr. had a pretty horrible game, no defensive stats and 10 points. And Fred VanVleet, again, shot the ball pretty poorly, 15 points. But it doesn't matter. The bench guys carried again. Plus 12 for Chris Boucher, plus 12 for Thaddeus Young, plus 11 for Malachi Flynn. For the Grizzlies, Ja Morant was out. There was some crazy news with Ja Morant coming out. But he was out of this game for some other reasons, questionable. So Tyus Jones, no brainer. Every time Ja Morant is out, Tyus Jones is going to put up some good numbers. And he did. 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 9 points. And Desmond Bane, 26 points. The steal numbers are pretty nice. 4 steals and a block with 4 threes. Jerry Jackson Jr. continued to be, he should be leading defensive player of the year. Another full block game. 8 rebounds. Offensively didn't have it going, but still had 18 points, but missed all the threes. And Sandy Aldama, with some injuries going on, he started. If he gets 30 minutes, he's a good player, but everybody healthy, he ain't getting that minutes. Dylan Brooks also was out, suspended. Oh, I didn't know Danny Green is on this team. Danny Green played 19 minutes. Sure, he can provide some crucial veteran experience leadership in the playoffs. The next game is the Denver Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves 98-128. Denver basically just punted this game. They're in a pretty comfortable spot in the West. They're 4.5 games ahead of the Grizzlies. And they started doing some things that did, like Jokic. He used to never rest, right? And he rested a couple times this year, but he still played the most games. He said he played, how many games did he play? 46 games. Wow, Shea actually played more games than him. Holy shoot. Shea played 48 games this year, and he's a third-ranked player. Amazing. Jason Tatum played 50. That's kind of expected. Pretty durable. Jason Tatum is the guy that played the most. Well, Vucevic played 52. Just looking at all the guys inside that top 50, top 20. So DeAndre Jordan started, didn't really do much. And Jamal Murray was resting too. So it's just one guy. I don't think we should read too much into it. Of course, Michael Porter Jr. should be the number one guy with all the guys out there. He did 16 shots. Aaron Gordon was out as well, 22 points and 7 block. But, you know, if similar situation happened again, I think Bruce Brown is another guy that I want to stream. It's just one game. And Bones Highland did not play this game. Wow. Wow. It looks like he's going to get traded. Let's see. For the Timberwolves, easy win, 30-point win. Anthony Edwards, D'Lo, both guys played well. Just to remember, Cat is going to be back. So I will try to sell both of these guys at a good price. Kyle Anderson, did he get hurt? Yeah, he's questionable. Back spasms. Let's not drop him, right? Let's just wait until Cat comes back and then drop him. Jaden McDaniels had 14 points and a steal, pretty decent. And Rudy Gobert was in some foul trouble. It didn't matter. 7 for 8. They won by 30. Let's talk about the last game of the night. Oh, great win for the Pelicans. The Kings were kind of hot. They're the third team in the West. One game ahead. Well, they just lost 2 straight. Well, De'Aaron Fox didn't play this game, so Devon Mitchell could be a good stream with De'Aaron Fox out. Didn't really do much this game. Kevin Huerter had just 10 points and 2 threes. Sabonis continued to, he didn't put up that good a number actually. Just 11 rebounds and 12 points. Harrison Barnes with 7 points. That's what happens when it's a blowout. All the guys playing low minutes, not putting up numbers. Malik Monk is the only guy that played decent on this team. Went 7 for 13. And we look at the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram out. Herbert Jones has been getting a lot of minutes. So obviously I'm absolutely must roster in category leagues. His defensive stats have been amazing. Added a steal and a block here. CJ McCollum, because of the blowout, only played 23 minutes. Did pretty good work. 24 points and 3 threes. Trey Murphy hit 6 of them. Absolutely must roster until Zion comes back. That's probably after the break. And I'll try to sell high on him if I can. Najee Marshall could be a good stream if Brandon Ingram sometimes miss the game. It's amazing that, they don't have Zion, Brandon Ingram, arguably the 2 best players. And they didn't have Valanciunas. It didn't matter, right? They come in, they're at home, but they blew them out by 32 points. So they got a lot of young guys that are just pretty good basketball players. And that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow.